Peter's life. Matthew chapter 16. Why don't you turn there? I love this. Now, when Jesus came to the district of Caesarea Philippi, he was asking his disciples, who do people say that I am? Now, before we go on, I happened to go to Caesarea Philippi. This is the place, and we'll read in just a minute, where Jesus talked about the gates of hell, the gates of Hades will not prevail against me. Man, I got an awakening. You get to Caesarea Philippi, and it's just a weird feeling. And it's the place where the goddess of Pan, P-A-N, where they sacrifice to the goddess of Pan. And so when Jesus is talking, his back is probably to this mountain, which has a big cutout in it, like a cave, that goes back, probably 30 yards, 90 feet or so. The cave opening's probably 20 feet high and 30 feet wide. And it's a sheer cliff that goes up, I would guess, around 500 to 900,000 feet. And what they did is, the god of Pan required his worshipers to give their firstborn children to him. They would take him to the top of the cliff and drop him into the gates of hell. If the blood ran out down the street, the god of Pan was satisfied. If not, they had to drop more children. Jesus is standing at this place where there would be bloodstains running down the pavement. And he says to Peter, the gates of hell will not prevail against you. You see all this garbage happening? You see all these demonic things happening here? You see this bad situation we're in America? You see this bad situation we're in all over the world? God's standing next to it. He said, see this? That ain't going to prevail over what I'm doing. I love this story. Now, Jesus came to the district of Caesarea Philippi, and he was asking his disciples, who do people say the Son of Man is? And they said, some say John the Baptist, and others Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. And he said to them, but who do you say that I am? Now, this could be translated more correctly, who am I to you? I love this. It says, who do they say the Son of Man is? Oh, some say Jeremiah, Elijah, some of the prophets. Okay, but who am I to you? Peter said, Simon Peter answered, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus said, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father who's in heaven. And I say to you that you are Peter. And upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not overpower it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall have been bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall have been loosed in heaven. And then he warned his disciples, don't tell anybody I'm the Christ. Now, how many of you understand that Jesus is not just the Christ? When Jesus said, who am I to you? How many know he's the bread of life? He's the light of the world. He's the great rabbi. He's the one who was dead and alive forevermore. He's the Alpha and the Omega. And how many know we can go on and on and on? But when Jesus said, and who am I to you? Peter steps up, and I love Peter because he always talks without thinking. And it validates my life. I mean, I say things I don't know if I believe until after they come out. I can't process them inside. I have to get them out there and where I can see them. And Jesus says, who am I to you? And he said, I know who you are. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Christ means the anointed one, or the one anointed with power. And Jesus turned to him and said, and you, Simon. How many know he was Simon? Simon means, it means a reed blown in the wind. And it's actually, the word Simon is actually related more to the blowing of the wind against the reed. In other words, Simon means somebody moved by the wind. No longer will your name be Simon. Your name shall be Peter, Petros, rock. The name Peter was not popular in the time of Jesus. It meant concrete. It wasn't a name of a person, it was the name of a thing. Jesus just said, no longer will you be a reed that's moved by the wind. From now on, you'll be concrete. You'll be stable. And upon this rock will I build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it. I love this story But here's the main point I want to make. Whoever Jesus is to you, he'll be through you.